Google and OpenAI are very concerned about these open source products because it opens a door for somebody
Right.
like you and me to compete with Google. And
Right.
because before you needed really deep pockets to create these
Right.
sort of products.
Carla, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's super cool to be here.
I've been waiting to do this for a while, by the way. So glad our schedules connected. You're one of the most sought after women in tech and women in AI. I probably should start with that. Tell me more about your background in that and also your obsession towards AI.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my obsession. So I've been in tech since the internet first came around, or even before that. Like we had computers back growing up and stuff, but I worked with Microsoft and the Pentagon and Olympic Committee, a lot of big names, right? And NASA. And then I got into building my own apps and I got into iPhone apps. So I'm always an early adapter. In fact, I'm one of the first women to, I think I am the first woman to launch an iPhone app. So very early
Wow.
adapter. My app was one of the first ones on the store and big news with that one coming up in a couple of weeks anyway, but it's still on the App Store.
What's it called?
What's that?
What's it called?
It's called Gratitude Journal. So it's a
Oh, okay.
gratitude journal. Yeah. So I started making it went viral. It got me on Oprah and New York Times and all this stuff. And so I
That's
really
awesome.
got into apps and wrote books about it, helped other people make apps. And that was when I had my first brush, I guess, with AI. I was helping a gentleman in Canada write an app, a meditation app where he wanted to use AI in the app. And so I was like, oh my gosh, what's all this AI stuff? How does this all work? And that was probably 5 years ago, at least, when we were trying to
Got it.
build that app. And we gave up because the cost involved with the
Mhm.
technology, it wasn't there. And then I was launching more software. And with my software, I was trying to create shortcuts and little books that I can mail out to my users. The software is called Hero FM. And I don't like writing books. So I hired a ghostwriter to do the book for me. And this was just like last October. And she did a great job ghosting me in the
Wow.
ghostwriting world. It was supposed to be a Black Friday special and it didn't appear. She didn't deliver. And that's right when ChatGPT came on the market. So always being an early adapter, I'm like, oh, what is this? And what if I put my book in it? And so I took what I had written and I put it through ChatGPT and rewrote it like in an afternoon. It was so quick. And it was so easy that I just said, what if I rewrite the whole book, like the whole thing start to finish? And I did that in a couple of days. And since then, I've this year, I think I've launched 4 or 5 books and helped maybe 20 books get written and
Wow.
published. Yeah, yeah, because of AI. And so now, so the big thing with AI was the chat, the writing, the creative writing. Maybe it could do more than that, write some code for you, which was the cool part because I'm not really that good at writing code. And so ChatGPT would help me write the code even better. And now what's come on the market and what I think is just absolutely thrilling with the AI space is the open source products that are coming out. So there's like LangChain and so many others. There's Auto GPT, all sorts of open source products that are getting a lot of smart people on it. In fact, Google and OpenAI are very concerned about these open source products because it opens a door for somebody
Right.
like you and me to compete with Google. And
Right.
because before you needed really deep pockets to create these
Right.
sort of products. So, yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
You did mention Hero.fm. Do you want to tell us like more about what the product is and how you discover the need for the product? Obviously, like I said, I'm still learning how to use that, so I'm relatively new.
Yeah, you just jumped in and signed up and you're like, what is this? So, what it is, it's interactive private audio, meaning somebody has to give you an email address or better yet, some money to get access to a private podcast, an audio training, maybe it's an audio book, But it's more than that because you can automate messages to be sent to the listener at different parts of your book. Or if they stop listening, you can send a message that says, hey, why'd you stop listening? Or they finish or whatever. So it's meant to be interactive and they can message you back. And so it's another layer of engagement with your audience. And I created it because I stumbled into audio. I had a podcast and I was doing challenges with my gratitude journal app. People who got my app, I'd do a challenge with them. And it was all video and people couldn't show up and took a long time. And so my drop off rate was terrible. And one lady joined the challenge and she said, I'm not going to listen to anything. I'm not going to or watch anything. I'm not going to watch a replay. So I thought she was going to ask for a refund request. But she's, no, just give me all the audios. Can you put them on a Google Drive or something? So I did that. And a few days later, she's live in our private Facebook group and she's talking about how she downloaded everything, binge listened. She feels like a new person. Like you could just see the transformation in her. It was beautiful. But then she started crying, saying that her son confided in her that he was planning to commit suicide and he wasn't going to tell her. But he saw this new version of her come out and he felt like he could lean on her because she seemed so much stronger. And I was crying and she's crying. And it just hit me like, I got to give everybody an audio version of my product. But there wasn't any solution out there that was simple. And this was probably 2019. And when the world closed down, I just said, okay, I'm going to create the product that I wished I had for my challenges and things. And that's when Hero was born. And I created it. Some other people were like, how can I get access to this? So I gave it to them and it's been going strong, growing really strong now.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to be a user of that.
Yeah.
First,
oh, good. Good.
You made it too. I'm sure it's going to deliver. Tell us about the other app that is in the works. It is all AI driven. Come on now.
Yes. So Hero has a little bit of AI in there, but our next project that we're working on right now is called Buzzworthy. And really what it is, it's a bot that will get to learn you. It's for people who want to create short form videos, TikToks, Reels, YouTube shorts, and it'll write the script. But it'll write the script based on what it learned about you from your website, your podcast, your books, your YouTube videos, anybody else. Who do you want to mimic? What's happening in the market? What's the latest news? So you could take, maybe your business is about growing plants, but you could tie it to the Oscars and, you know, how the Oscars are like growing plants, and it'll write the whole script for you. And it'll tell you exactly like what angles, what should be in the script. So if you want to do faceless, it'll give you ideas for what you could show in the videos and hashtags, the copy, everything. It'll just pump it out. And really the idea is to help people get their message out more, because crafting really good script, as we know, is hard to do. These script writers are on strike right now in Hollywood, and it breaks the whole business because that's the crux, is having the right words to say. So this will help those people.
I cannot wait for that. I'm telling you right now.
I know, me too, because my social media is hurting and I need it.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. Now, because you've been in tech for so long, you have started several businesses, including the first women app on the App Store. What are some mistakes that you see like entrepreneurs make when they're trying to scale their business? There's so many of them that you've seen. You work at big tech or worked in big tech. What would you say to that business owner that might be just trying to get to their first 6 figures or their first million or any of that?
Yeah, I think there's an underemphasis on the marketing side, or how tech people market, right? So tech people, a lot of time tech people build for tech people because that's all they know, right? And they're in this little tech bubble. And really where the juice is, where people don't understand tech. But then the problem becomes, you have to make the tech so simple, so crazy simple. That is actually really hard to do. That's a challenge. So I guess I was very fortunate because one of my projects at NASA was to take these extremely complex systems with like thousands of buttons and these really weird interfaces, and they were designed by the developers, made no sense. And I had to boil it down to 3 buttons, either 1, 2, or
Wow.
3, and that's it, right? And so to go through those mental loops, it takes a lot of work. It's not easy. You think about somebody who's highly educated being able to explain something so that a little child can understand it. That's a real talent. Back to your question, if you invest that to make things super simple, super easy, what you're doing is opening up your marketplace to a bigger audience that doesn't
Right.
understand the tech.
How did you discover that marketing is that bottleneck?
I was really lucky with a lot of my tech products going viral because I thought I was being lucky. I didn't realize I was actually marketing with them, because what would happen was when I launched an app, I'd put my story out there as to why I created the app. Like when I made Gratitude Journal, I made this because, and I gave a whole backstory. And
Yep.
the newspapers and the media latched onto that and they loved it. The other thing is being an early adopter, being one of the first ones out there and being willing to put something really fugly out there, like really ugly, doesn't matter, just get it out there. My first gratitude app, I didn't know how to design. I didn't know any, it was so ugly, but the media liked it, not because of the app, but because of the story. And
Right.
I rode that wave for quite a while. And when it started to dissipate and the app stores changed and things like that, then I had to dive deeper into marketing tactics. And I can understand why people who are developing software
Mhm.
and wanting to cross over into marketing, those are two separate, really big arenas to wrap your head around. So to understand both of them is a challenge. So
Wow.
maybe if you want to just stay in the tech, then find that partner who believes in your product, believes in what you're doing, and can market it and get those user base up there.
I'm so glad like you went and put out products and they went viral, and that is not the norm, right? So
No.
most of them they flop. So
Yes.
what advice would you give to that person who started it and didn't go viral?
Yeah. Yeah. Because one thing is, where is your product market fit? I know that term is, ugh, how do you understand?
I
Are
know.
you talking to your ideal customers? There is so much gold when you just get on a call with somebody who either is checking out your product, like you just checked out my product, to get your feedback and to put your ego away, put it aside and hear what they have to say. I help a lot of I'm on a incubator here in my hometown, and I help these people who have startups. And one thing that they struggle with is getting the feedback. They're so bullheaded in this feature must be in there. And yet
Wow.
everybody's telling them, no, take it out. Take it out. It's going to suck you dry. And they're like, no, it's got to be in there. So you got to put that ego on a shelf and listen to people, listen, especially to your ideal customers, and hear what they have to say.
That's fantastic. Carla, I think I can go on forever because I want you to check my app and give me some feedback. And that's
Yeah.
how it's been since I met you. So let me ask you one question. That is, what piece of advice would you give your younger self? Knowing what you know now and all the secrets in marketing that I see your content. I know it's pretty good. So you
Yeah.
learned a lot.
Yes, and I should have charged more earlier on. I think I
Wow.
undercut. Because I was a salary person, right? Like when you're on that 100,000 to 150,000 a year with these companies, and then you go off into being your own boss, you
Entrepreneur,
don't
yes.
think about all the other expenses. And so you're just, I hope they hire me. I got to have that customer. And so you undercut yourself. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have just, nope, this is my price, and kept it high. And if I kept it high, I would have got the right customers.
Would you say double your prices?
Oh, 10 times.
Quadruple it?
Yeah. I think I way undercharged for some of these contracts. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
I think that's a great advice because a lot of
Mm.
entrepreneurs they lack the sort of the confidence. Can I
Mm.
deliver? Should I just, and I've even heard people say do it for free, which again, it doesn't help your pocketbook. How are you going to
Mm.
survive if you do it for
Mm.
free?
Yeah. Yeah. The do it for free, I get it, but do it for free if it takes you a day or two. Don't do it for free if it
Right.
takes you months,
Or an
right?
hour. Max,
Yeah. Yeah.
where do you think AI and the stuff that you're working on is headed? No, no, nobody knows,
Oh
right? But what are you
gosh.
seeing? Where
Yeah.
where do you see? Because you're more in it than I am, or anyone
Yeah.
listening for that matter.
Oh, I just love this stuff. I wake up and this first stuff I read, but I unfortunately I'm not in Silicon Valley where the stuff is happening. That's where I want to be, is huddled up to those tables where people are having discussions. But at the rate that products are coming out, I feel like the opportunity to keep up to what I'm creating right now with Buzzworthy, it may have a shelf life of just a few months before
Wow.
something else comes along that's even easier, simpler, whatever, and you just scrap it. That's kind of what I feel. And I'm almost thinking software in general, like apps in general, SaaSes, not today, but 5, 10 years, there won't be a SaaS. You'll just create what you want on the fly, and it'll
Mm.
be what I call disposables. If I wanted a writer to make me some scripts, then I would just go into my AI and have it create the thing that I need and just, okay, I'm done with it. Now I don't need that
Wow.
SaaS anymore. I need a PDF thing to SaaS to fill out my PDFs. Build one for me, right? And it'll just do it and then
Jeez.
it'll disappear. What I'm really excited in the nearer future is Apple's conference, which is coming up next month. And they have
June.
their annual WWDC,
Yep.
which Apple's M1, M2 chips
Mhm.
are equivalent to the NVIDIA chips that are running the OpenAI. And these chips are like right here on our phones, or right here on our
Right.
computers. So we could have our own NVIDIA, right? Like the whole supercomputer right in our device. So
Wow.
I'm excited to see what Apple's going to say about AI, because they haven't said anything yet. They haven't
Yep.
even whispered anything. So I'm hoping that conference is going to.
Typical Apple.
I know, right? Yeah, maybe they'll just come out with, "We updated the App Store with AI,"
Yeah.
and that's
Put
it.
the
Like, then maybe they
gratitude
won't.
journal at the very top of everybody. Homepage, gratitude journal. That's the one you
Yeah.
need to download after TikTok. Carla, where can they find you?
Yeah, just head over to Hey Carla White on Instagram, and everything's there.
That's awesome. Thank you
Mhm.
so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Solomon.